waiting outside, sir.
Okay. So let's have a kind of quick revision that what we have done yesterday. Okay. So basically, in yesterday's class, we talked about the software crisis. Yes. And why this software crisis? What are the factors which are contributing this software crisis, and why we are studying this software engineering? And in continuation to that, we will again touch some points which are again important, that why what are the traditional methods that we used to follow before actually the introduction of these principles, that is the software engineering principles, which methods we used to follow. And in today's lecture also, in today's class also, we discussed about these methods, the traditional methods versus the new methods that we are going to follow in the software engineering approach. So probably for this week, we will touch the introductory part only, and when it will come to the lab, we will discuss about the object-oriented design. Okay. बेटा जल्दी एंट्री किया करो ना, ऐसे फिर ऐसे कैसे चल पाएगा बताओ, बीच बीच में एंट्री देंगे तो. So in the previous lecture, in the last tutorial or in the last class, we discussed about the very basic issues, and we debated whether a program writing is an art or an engineering, right? So we stated that the initially every technology starts in an art, and from that art we slowly goes to the craft, and then we graduated into the engineering approach, right? And software is no different. And like in engineering approach, the past experience of the large number of programmer developers is taken into the consideration, and we investigate them and we document them, and we have some scientific criteria so that we can develop softwares more effective. So that was the previous lecture that we discussed all these things. Now, moving to the next one, that is evolution of an art into the engineering discipline, right? How this actually being happened, why initially it was an art, and now we talked about the engineering discipline, that is the software engineering we are talking now, but before it was just an art. Why? Because in the previous if you, time, if you compare, the problem size was very very small, and with our own intuition, with a very basic intuition, we can develop the softwares. So that is what we call as the exploratory software development, right? So what was the exploratory software development? So the software development practices in traditional time was a very novice. So consider, for example, someone who is just starting to program and just learning programming now and doing small assignments. How will he be able to develop the programs? That you will call as the exploratory software development, or you can say it is like the build and fix style of development. In a very initial stage, how you are going to learn the C, how you are going to learn the C++, then we will give you some assignments, and you will solve these assignments with your programming skills as well as with your basic intuition. The assignments that we are giving to you are not so large, not like they are not like a software project development type of thing. They are very small type of assignments. So what you people are doing, you are doing a kind of exploratory software development, or a build and a fixed type of style development, right? So this
Excuse
is,
me, sir.
yes beta.
Sir, some students are waiting outside. Please give them entry.
अब बेटा ये कैसे काम चलेगा ऐसे, हाँ? बीच में एडमिट complete now. Shall we start now? Okay. So initially what you people are doing, you are just doing the exploratory type of thing, right? So you are doing the exploratory research or exploratory build and fix model. So what is this build and fix model? What we are doing, right? So whatever you are developing is with your intuition, with your basic intuition. You used to develop small programs. So whatever the program that you have developed in the C language or C++, these small programs you have developed with your basic intuition, and that is what we call as the exploratory software development or the build and the fix style of development. So whenever you are being asked, so what is the exploratory research or what is the kind of exploratory software development? So it is like when we are just started programming with our basic intuition and with some knowledge of the programming, what we are developing, that is what we call the exploratory software development. Is it clear to everyone? Yes. Now see this. See this particular build and fix or the exploratory style of development. Why we are studying? Because see, we are just taking this particular subject from the very start, from where we have started, and now where we are at this point. So in this style, as you can see on your screen, that this particular figure, normally whenever we are going to start, we are going to start with a dirty program, right? In the sense that we have a lot of bugs. And as you document this development style of the build and fix, that is the exploratory style, as you can see on your screen also, you will create such kind of diagrammatically you can think about how you are going to fix the bugs and how you are going to test. You just have the initial coding, then you just test it, then you found some bugs, and then you again fix it, and then you again test it, and do you just need to perform this activity again and again until you are not going to deliver the software up to the user requirement. So as soon as the problem is provided to you, you will do a kind of initial coding, and after the initial coding is complete, you'll start the testing and find the large number of bugs that is being reported. And maybe some of them are the like bugs or small or the larger bugs or just large number of bugs or the compilation errors. So whatever the kind of errors you can find after just doing the small coding. So again you compile and again you test and examine that errors keep on this cycle or not, and you just fix those errors and you keep on repeating this particular style. So this is what we call as the exploratory style of development or the build and fix type of model. So where we are going to use such kind of model, can anybody tell me where we are going to use such kind of exploratory style of development? Yes, beta. Any idea where you are going to use this? Yes, Prag.
During
Nakul.
bugs fixing, sir.
No, no. I see. Bug fixing is everywhere. Whether it is a small or the larger project, bug we have to fix the bugs. Otherwise, how we are going to deliver the software? But see, this is exploratory. What I'm saying, sir, C programming, sir. It's a very basic lab. What you people are doing? Just add two numbers, short numbers. So these are very small programs. So you anybody who has the basic understanding of the programming, they start doing kind of for loop, while loop, and they can start coding, and they will found okay, they will compile the program, they will find okay, this is the bug in the line number 20 or line number 23. We will fix it, then you again compile it. So you just need to have this problem size very small, and you just try to code something, then you try to fix if there is some bug, and you will put up the results, right? So this is what you people are doing. You people are doing the exploratory style of development or build and fix style of development. Okay. So let me tell you, okay, if the problem size is going to be increased, for example, now you are going to start coding 1000 lines or maybe 100 or 150 lines. So will this particular exploratory style or the build and fix model will work? Will it work?
Little bit, sir.
Okay, maybe 150 line, it depends on your capability. But what about the 1000 lines or 2000 lines if you have to develop?
It wouldn't work, sir.
It will not work.
No, sir.
Probably it will not work because see, and why it will not work? We will try to understand this with our human cognition system. See, whatever who are doing the coding, we are doing the coding. Computers are not doing the coding. We are doing the coding and we just run all these computer programs into our drives, right, into the compilers. So we are the main point here. If we have some capacity to program, then only we can fix it. For example, let's don't go at that point. We will touch these points in a 2 to 5 minutes. We will touch that points. So as of now, what we are delivering is that, okay, we understood that this is a kind of exploratory software development that we used in the traditional time, but nowadays also we use, but then the problem side should be very, very small. Then only we can use it. But if the project is non-trivial in nature, non-trivial meaning very big project and large, requires hundreds and thousands of lines, it will be very, very difficult to debug, and maybe it will never complete. So even if somebody really puts a lot of effort, you say, sir, no, I will do it, sir. I will day and night, I will do it by fixing build and fix, build and fix, build and fix kind of method. Even if you do lot of efforts, you will come up with a very, very poor quality of software. It will not work for the larger projects. Okay. Now, then
यस सर सर लॉबी कर दो एक बार फ्रेंड्स को.
कहाँ पे है बेटा? विघ्नेश, वंश, अमित, लेट क्यों हो आप लोग इतना?
सर
यस
पिछले
विघ्नेश.
से डाल रखा था, अभी तक एंट्री नहीं मिल रही थी.
तो बेटा आप टाइम पे आ जाओ. जब मैं लिंक भेजता हूँ तभी ज्वाइन किया करो ना. अब अगर आप बीच में ज्वाइन करोगे तो मैं स्लाइड्स पे आ जाता हूँ, मैं उधर पढ़ाने लगता हूँ, तो मुझे पता नहीं चलता कौन आ रहा है कौन नहीं आ रहा है. ऑटो एडमिट का है ऑप्शन, बट मुझे एक बार स्क्रीन पे आना पड़ता है
सॉरी सर, वो लिंक
है ना.
नोटिस नहीं हुआ और
जब
3 मिनट्स
जब
लेट हो
जब
गया.
जब मैं लिंक भेजता हूँ उसके विदिन 2-3 मिनट्स आप ज्वाइन कर जाया करो. अदरवाइज बीच में फिर ये स्क्रॉल करने में मुझे नहीं पता चलता है फिर.
ओके सर.
Okay. So this is what. Okay, so initial build and fix model, it will not work for the larger programs. Why we are studying this? See, this whole course is all about the software project type of management. We have to manage the large projects. What principles, why we are going from the traditional approach to the engineering approach, and what engineering approach? The software engineering approach. What is this software engineering approach? Those principles we have to study in this particular subject. And I will tell you why we are studying this. Uh, Yesterday we have discussion on the industry report. Why 28% success rate? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
यस सर.
That's fine. So it means that we somehow we have to incorporate these software engineering principles, and how we are going to incorporate, we will see in moment, right? Maybe next week we'll try to come up with those models where we actually start building the large projects. Maybe not the large, but whatever the kind of projects we have, we will try to take that particular problem size, and we will try to fix that particular problem size into the domain of the models or the methodologies that we are going to study maybe next week or next to next week, right? Whatever. So now, so where we were discussing about the build and fix model. Okay. Now, the next question that comes is, whenever the problem size is increasing, so we are saying that this particular model will crash. Which model? The exploratory style of development. Then which particular model will come into the existence, or which particular kind of things will come into the existence, and why it is actually crashing? That is the main point. You should ask, sir, okay, you are saying it will crash. Why it is crashing? What's the problem? We are very much expert. We are very much know the programming language and everything. Why it is crashing? I will put lot of efforts. I will build, and then again I'm going to compile it, fix it, the line number 23, line number 25, whatever, wherever there is a problem, I will fix it. But why it is failing? Why the reports are saying that it is failing? It is not a good method when the problem size is big. Yes, anybody can answer.
It's time consuming.
But it's a time consuming, fine, it's time consuming, but we talked about, okay, let's have enough time. Will it work?
No idea,
But
sir.
sir, still when we have code of lines more than 1,000 or more than 10,000, sir, then it is not possible to do, sir. It is not great to work with a good efficiency.
Mhm. Now try to see this particular figure now. See this one. What you can infer from this? From there you will get the basic understanding where we are. See the linearity and the non-linearity in the graph. See the exponential nature of this particular exploratory or build and fix model, and when it is going to fail, whenever the problem size is increasing, the exponential nature is, we have the exponential nature of the this particular exploratory kind of style. So if you go on no try with build and fix, and your problem size is increasing, what about the time and cost? Exponential increase in time and cost. Yes. So we do not want an exponential cost and the time, because see, whatever the software industries, what they are doing, why they are running, they are just running for the profit only. If there is no profit, why we are running the companies? If we are not delivering on the time, why we are delivering the projects? The client will not come. So it means that time and the cost are the two important factors where we have to see whether we are incurring the larger, meaning the exponential, or the linear cost. So in the exploratory style of development, if you will try, and I will say, okay, you have enough time. Okay, you have enough time, but we do not have the enough cost, right? So if you will try this particular style, then definitely there will be, when the problem size is increasing, you will be having this kind of exponential kind of time and the cost. So we have to take this particular exponential to the linear cost. And how we are going to come to this particular linear cost? We have to apply some principles, that is the software engineering principles, in order to take this cost from the exponential to the linear one. So can you see the graph, the linear one, after applying the software engineering principles?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is the point. So at this point now, I'm sure that you will be agree with me that okay, yes, this particular subject is we have to study, because we have to take the course to the linear. Otherwise, there is no methods, there are no principles, and there are no methods. Then how we are going to take this to the linear phase? How it is going to come to the linear? We'll study during the course. How what are the principles? What are the different kind of methodologies we are going to follow? But this is how, what is the importance of this subject. So for first or the second week, we will just being involved with all such kind of theoretical. Although this particular whole subject is a kind of theoretical subject, but it doesn't mean that you just take it like okay, we have to learn something and we have to put on the piece of paper. No, this particular subject, very important subject for as far as this particular IT branch is concerned, because overall the software development that you have to go through in the companies, you have to apply all these principles in the large scale development. Otherwise, you will be just like a proficient in some programming language, but if you do not know the principles, then it will be a type of problem for you, and you will not be able to deliver the effective software products, right? Even in your placement, also this subject is being asked by the interviewers. Okay, do you have the basic understanding of the software project development or not? And if you say yes, sir, yes, I know about the C, sir, I know about the C plus plus. No, they are not asking about the development. They are asking about the software project management, the whole thing, starting from the feasibility study up to the maintenance phase. What are the different criteria? What are the different phases? What are the different terms? How you are going to deal with each and every phases? So that is the overall importance of this particular subject, right? So then, okay. So this is the importance. Now, next question that comes to our mind is that what is wrong with the exploratory style of development? Okay, as already we said that uh, the efforts and the time in the exploratory is an exponential in nature, and definitely it will break after certain size. And there are some other symptoms. That is, what other symptoms we can have in the exploratory style? The poor quality of code. unmaintainable. So it's quite difficult to use the exploratory style in team development environment. Whereas if you use the software engineering principles, we are able to overcome all these pitfalls. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. Now, you just need to understand again why this build and fix model is actually failing. Why it is failing now? So you just need to understand your capabilities first. What is my capability? If you are not capable to decode a particular problem, then how the computer will understand what you want to do? Am I right? So it means that you first should have the capability to solve a particular or think about the problem. Otherwise, how you are going to build the logics? So let's match this particular thing and why this particular build and fix model is actually failing. We'll just try to map it with the historical perspective. What the history says about this. So let's have a type of introductory section on this particular interpretation based on the human cognition mechanism. So what is this? So just to try to understand this, you need to have a little bit understanding about the human cognitive mechanism, how we actually think. So long back, the results from this one of the famous person in the research community, that is Miller in 1956, he said that human memory human memory can be made up of the two distinct parts. One part is the short-term memory, and another part is the long-term memory. The short-term memory is one where you remember something for only a small duration of time. That is, it may be for several seconds or several minutes. Whereas in this long-term memory, you remember things for the longer time, maybe for the months and for the years. So the working of this particular human cognition mechanism, let's try to elaborate within this particular example. For example, you just have the watch and I ask you what's the time now and you say, sir, this is 10 a.m. Right? And then I will ask you a question, okay, how many hours remaining today? Then how you are going to answer this thing? Yes, can you tell me how you are going to ask, tell me the answer? This is how the human cognition system works. How? The way the human mind will work is that it is 10 a.m. Okay, and that's in the short term memory because you just watched. Okay, you are just asking about the 10. Okay, fine. That is mean in the short term memory, it will be 10 now, the number 10. And from your long term memory, you will fix that. Okay, for a day, one day is of 24 hours, and then there will be a mental kind of manipulation unit which will compute the difference, that is 24 minus 10, that is 14 hours. So approximately 13 hours or 50 minutes or 14 hours, that is fine. So it's, you will say, sir, it's 14 hour approximately remaining time. This is how you are doing, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
अब लाइफ एग्जांपल्स कभी भी देख लो और एक दो एग्जांपल्स देंगे भी किस तरह से. सो दिस इज ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर. व्हाई वी आर स्टडीइंग दिस सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग? सर सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग में क्या इसका मोटिव है सर? वी विल टेल यू, राइट? ओके. So overall, if you will see this, you will find this such kind of diagram, or you can map your mind with such kind of diagrams. You have the long term memory, short term memory, and somewhere in between they have some kind of CPU or manipulation unit where you actually manipulate the things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now what exactly the short term memory then? It means that what it can store and for how long. That is the meaning of short term memory. What it can store and for how long it can store. Here we will define one term, an item. What is an item and what does it mean by an item? So first let's elaborate that an item stored in the short term memory get lost with the time, maybe with the several seconds or several minutes or hours, but it will get lost. Definitely it will get lost. What is lost? The item. And what is the item, sir? We will elaborate. Just after this slide, we will elaborate what is an item. So, but yes, definitely an item will get lost after several minutes or several seconds from the short-term memory. Why it is getting out of the system? Because maybe it's have some limited capacity. Maybe it is having some limited capacity that the short term memory is not capable to hold that much information. So, but the overall motive is that, okay, we just understood that, okay, short-term memory is something which is having some kind of short memory, and we just can retain something, some items in the short-term memory for only the shorter duration of time. And that is the reverse is in the long-term memory. Okay. Even in the short-term memory, if you recycle the things again and again, you recycle the things that will went to the long-term memory. Have you seen with your yourself such things? You just repeat the things, repeat the things, repeat the things. Where it will go? It will go to your long-term memory. That's why we'll say, okay, during the exam, just revise, 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 revise. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, here we will define an item. What is an item? So just in the previous slide, you said that, okay, the short-term or long-term memory store the items. So what is an item? What does it mean an item? So software memories, like the human cognition system, the software memories also store the items. You know what
Excuse
memory
me,
stores?
sir.
Yes, beta.
Excuse me, sir. सर क्या आप अभी भी इसी स्लाइड पर हो व्हाट इज द रॉन्ग विद एक्सप्लोरेटरी स्टाइल ये जो सर जिसमें पॉइंट्स दो दिए हुए हैं या फिर आपने साइड चेंज कर लिया सर
What is visible now?
सर beside the exponential growth of effort cost and time with the problem size yes sir now it's changing short term memory
Now it is visible. What is an item?
Yes, sir.
yes
Yes,
sir
sir.
now it's visible
वो थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो गया. Okay. So in the previous slides we talk about, okay, there is an item that needs to be stored in the short term or the long term memory depending upon the capacity. Long term is having the larger capacity, or the we can store for the items for the long time. So but what does it mean by the item? If you compare with this analogy with the software memories also store the items. So what does it mean by the item? If I will say that item is something, a character, okay, that is an item. Item is something, a digit, that is an item. So whatever the individual chunks or individual units, whether it is in alphabets or digits, that becomes an item. It can be a word also, it can be a sentence also, it can be a story also, it can be a picture. So picture is picture an item? Yes, we can store that particular picture. But at what particular stage we can say a particular thing as an item? There are two cases. One is that there is no relation between the objects. For example, I will say 5987. What is the relation, sir? I can recognize any relation. It means that 587 are individual item. 587. How many items are there? 3 items are there. Yes. But if I will say, okay, there are numbers from 1 to 9. So what are the numbers from 1 to 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it means that whatever the objects that will fall between 1 to 9, there is some relation. And what is the relation? The relation is a consecutive numbers. Yes or no? So it means that 1 to 9 becomes one item. Yes?
ये सर इसको चंकिंग को दोबारा एक्सप्लेन करना सर एक बार
Which one, beta?
सर
हाँ
आपने अभी चंकिंग
हाँ
के बारे
हाँ,
में
अभी
बताया है
अभी 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 तो चंकिंग बताता हूँ, एक सेकंड. अब ऐसा समझो, सर मैंने बोला 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. सर इसको रिमेंबर करना है, कैसे रिमेंबर करेगा? हमारा जो माइंड कैसे रिमेंबर करेगा इसको? 5, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, सर कोई रिलेशन तो दिख नहीं रहा है, तो ऐसे याद कर लेंगे सर. आपने जैसे बोला 5, 6, 7, इट मीन्स दैट इंडिविजुअल नंबर, इफ देयर इज नो रिलेशन, then it becomes an item. So here we are just giving you the definition of the items. What is an item? If I'll say, okay, can you learn numbers from 1 to 9 or 10 to 20? You'll say, yes sir, I can learn. So will it be easy for you to learn 1 to 9 and then 20 to 30 and 40 to 60 as compared to 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 3, 2, 1? Which one is easy for you? कौन सा इजी होगा बताओ? हमने बोला हाँ बेटा यही इजी होगा ना सर, 1 से 9 नंबर एक याद करने हैं सर, 1 से 9 तो सबको ही पता है, 1 to 9 बोल देंगे सर, 10 से 20 बोलना है, 10 से 20 भी बोल देंगे. इट मींस दैट देयर इज सम पैटर्न एंड दैट पैटर्न इज फिक्स्ड. कंसेक्यूटिव नंबर्स का पैटर्न है सर. 1 to 9 मुझे याद रहेगा, आपने बोला था कि 1 to 9 नंबर है एक, तो एक दूसरा सेट कौन सा है, 20 से 30 वाला है, एक 40 से 60 वाला सेट है. इट मींस दैट ईच इंडिविजुअल सेट नाउ बिकम्स एन आइटम. ओके
सर मतलब कि अगर दो आइटम्स में कोई रिलेशन नहीं तो वो दो इंडिविजुअल आइटम है,
बस
आइटम है, पर अगर अगर कुछ आइटम्स में रिलेशन है तो एक ही आइटम माना जाएगा.
एक ही आइटम माना जाएगा वो. इट इज
अच्छा,
बिकमिंग
बस यही है.
बस यही बात है. Conclusion is, which we can made from this here, is that if you are remembering something and you are able to build the relation between the things that you want to remember, then it becomes easier. This is what we call as the chunking. जो भी अगर आपको कभी भी कुछ याद करना हो तो उसको चंक कर दो, चंकिंग का प्रोसेस बोलते हैं इसको. और ऐसा क्यों है कि उसको चंकिंग से हमारा माइंड रिमेंबर कर पा रहा है, ऐसा क्यों है, ऐसी क्या प्रॉब्लम है माइंड के अंदर? Yes, we have some limitations. And what are those limitations? Let's study those limitations. So you just understood what is chunking? Yes, beta, chunking.
Yes.
Given this particular
Yes,
long,
sir.
given this particular long sequence, I ask you, can you remember this? You will say, sir, just give me 1 minute, sir. I will remember it. Why 1 minute? Can't you remember 6251? You will say, yes, I can remember, sir, 6251. That's enough, sir. I can remember definitely 6251. But can you remember the 11110101001 like this? This is the binary of this octal number. So it will be difficult for you. Why it is difficult for you? What's the problem? This is all about the magical number 7. Our human cognition mechanism had this particular short-term memory, and whatever the initially what we will do, for example, I just want to learn this number, where it will go? It will always go to the short-term memory, and short-term memory is having the limitation of 7 items. हमारी शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी की लिमिटेशन क्या है? 7 से ज्यादा आइटम्स को होल्ड नहीं कर पाती. एवरेज केस बता रहा हूं मैं, ये सबका, मैं किसी चाणक्य की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, है ना, कोई एक्स्ट्रा ब्रिलियंट और सुपर ब्रिलियंट या कुछ ओवर इंटेलिजेंट लोगों की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, बट ऑन एवरेज केस our short term memory has the capacity to hold the 7 items at a time. If you try to hold 7 different items, and what is an item? Item can be a units or item can be a relation. You just try करके देखो, 7 items तो आपको इजीली याद हो जाएंगे. उसके बाद आपको थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम आती है. So this is the principle of chunking. Okay. So you now in normal days, in normal day-to-day life, you also see this process of chunking or the short-term memory. You know that? Yes. अगर किसी का टेलीफोन डायल करते हो और नंबर नहीं मिलता है तो क्या करते हो? सर बिजी आ रहा है. फिर क्या बोलते हैं? सर दोबारा से मिला लो. दोबारा डायल करते हो. तो कहते हैं बिजी आ रहा है सर. दोबारा डायल करते हो, 30 बार डायल करते हो, 10 बार डायल करते हो, तो क्या होने लगता है? टेलीफोन नंबर आपको रिमेंबर कर जाता है. लेकिन वही मैं पूछूंगा कि ठीक है अभी तो आपको रिमेंबर कर गया, 1 मंथ बाद क्या रिमेंबर रहेगा वो चीज? नहीं रहेगी. तो ऑल दीज आर द एविडेंस ऑफ द शो. सी कंक्रीटली वी आर नॉट सेइंग होती ही है. किसी ने बताया कि नहीं ये देखो ये आपके एक्सरे में आया है कि ये शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी है, लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी नहीं, बट दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट वी हैव, एंड वी हैव द सफिशिएंट एविडेंस ऑफ द शॉर्ट टर्म एंड द लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी. ऐसा नहीं है कहीं एक्सरे मशीन में निकाल दिया है कि सर देखो ये शॉर्ट, ये वाला हिस्सा शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी है, लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी, ऐसा नहीं किया है. बट यस वी हैव सफिशिएंट एविडेंस, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस एविडेंस. तो किसी थ्योरी को प्रूव करने के लिए जो हमें कुछ तो एविडेंस चाहिए. तो लोगों ने थ्योरी प्रपोज करी, यस देयर इज अ थ्योरी ऑफ शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी, लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी, एंड दे हैव प्रूवन इट यूजिंग दिस नॉर्मल डे टू डे एविडेंस, लाइफ एविडेंसेस, राइट, नॉर्मल एविडेंसेस. So this is what I said, that the magical number 7. Why number 7 is a magical number? Because why beta? Why number 7 is magical? Why people say it is a magical number?
Because sir, it is the last number up to which
क्योंकि हमारी एविडेंस से ये पता चलता है, the evidence actually says that our short term memory can hold items. I'm talking about the items. Items can be a relation, अगर अलग अलग रिलेशन कर लो या इंडिविजुअल आइटम्स कर लो, वो आप पे डिपेंड है. बट शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी हैज द कैपेसिटी ऑफ द 7. दैट्स इट, द मैजिकल नंबर. ओके. Why we are studying in software engineering this, sir? What is the implication? Implication in the program development. What is its implication in the program development? Short term memory, long term memory. Try to understand the program. You must look at the variables, right? How they interact. Whatever the program you are making, you have to assign some variables, you initialize some variables, or declare some variables, and how these variables interact. See, program actually में है क्या यार, ये बताओ. आपने array बना दिया सर, कुछ variables बनाए, सारा का सारा interaction तो variables का ही है. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
वो variables है क्या? वो variables items ही तो है. So if you consider a very small program having only a couple of variables, for example, you can easily look through the code and understand what is happening. Only small variables are there. But when you are looking at a program which is thousands of variables, and each variable is a set of some programming constructs, for a human mind, please mind it, for a human mind, it becomes extremely difficult to understand it. Why, beta? Because my capacity is of what? A magical number, which is 7. सर आपने 50 वेरिएबल्स बना के रख दिए इस प्रोग्राम के अंदर, मैं तो समझ ही नहीं पा रहा एक दूसरे के बीच में रिलेशन. या तो जो है आप मुझे एटलीस्ट कम से कम जो है वेरिएबल्स रखते, या कुछ वेरिएबल्स की इस तरह से चेन बनाते ताकि जो है मेरा ह्यूमन माइंड तो पहले समझे उस चीज को. अब मैं जब उसको खुद ही नहीं समझ पा रहा हूं तो मैं उसका लॉजिक कैसे बिल्ड करूंगा सर? उसमें मेरे एरर्स बनने ही बनने हैं. सो दिस इज द प्रिंसिपल्स. ऑल दीज आर जो स्मॉल लोगों ने अपनी प्रोग्रामिंग एक्सपीरियंसेस से ये चीज शेयर करी है. सो ये धीरे धीरे जो है सारी चीज डॉक्यूमेंटेड हो गई, और उसी को जो है हमने एक सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग सब्जेक्ट का नाम दे दिया कि इसमें सारे के सारे प्रिंसिपल्स पढ़ेंगे, क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है. सो आप बोलते हैं कि नंबर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल्स इन अ प्रोग्राम अगर स्मॉल है, so it becomes easy to understand it. But if as the number of variables in the code increases, it is very difficult to grasp and to understand, and definitely it will require huge efforts to master that particular problem. So if the number of independent variable is more than 7, then it's a large program dealing with many things. Then the next question that arises, how does software engineering principles contain the complexity of this problem? How we are going to deal if, okay sir, we have independent variables that are more than 7, because my problem size is big, I cannot use lesser than 7, I have to anyhow, I have to make the 15 or 20 variables, I cannot break it. Then if the problem size becomes bigger, and the problem size become bigger, then would you apply the exploratory research, exploratory software development? Will you apply it? No, I cannot apply it. Then what you will do? Sir, I have to apply the software engineering principle. So it means that you are saying that if the problem size is bigger, and why it is bigger? It is not bigger for the computer, it is bigger for the us. First, please mind it, it is not bigger for the computer, but it is first bigger for us. कंप्यूटर के लिए तो बाद में बनेगी, जब रैम की बात आएगी, इन सब चीजों की बात आएगी, वो बाद में उसके लिए बिगर बनेगी. रैम कितना लिया, हार्ड डिस्क कितनी ली, वो सब बात. पहले तो वो बिगर प्रॉब्लम हमारे लिए ही है वो, क्योंकि उसमें आपने वेरिएबल्स जो है 7 से ज्यादा आपने आइटम्स को जो है इनिशियलाइज किया हुआ है, या उनमें कोई रिलेशन नहीं देख पा रहे हो, तो आप उस पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम को थोड़ा सा बिग ही मानो. प्रॉब्लम साइज बिग है. अदरवाइज यू जस्ट ट्राई कि आप जो है उन्हीं वेरिएबल्स में 4-5 जो वेरिएबल्स लिए हैं, आप उसी में कुछ मैनिपुलेशन करके उन्हीं के थ्रू जो है प्रॉब्लम को सोल्व करने की कोशिश करो. लेकिन अगर नहीं कर पा रहे हो, इट मीन्स दैट रियली योर प्रॉब्लम इज बिग, एंड द प्रॉब्लम ऑन विच यू आर वर्किंग इज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम, or meaning large problem. So the next question that arises to our mind is that, will software engineering will help me in order to deal with this problem of big size? Definitely it will help you. How? We will see. We will see, right? Up to this point it is clear why we are studying all these implications, right? Okay. So now the principle डिप्लॉयड बाय द सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग टू ओवरकम ह्यूमन कॉग्निशन लिमिटेशन। अरे भाई, सबसे पहले तो हमारी ही लिमिटेशन है, हम अपनी लिमिटेशन से ऊपर आए तभी तो आगे बात करेंगे। अब हमें ही जो है 7 आइटम से ज्यादा रख दिए हैं तो हमें ही समझ नहीं आ रही है प्रॉब्लम, तो कंप्यूटर को क्या समझाएंगे क्या करना है। So there are two major techniques that are used to overcome the cognitive limitation of 7, that is the magical number, and these two important principles are used in almost every technique. One is called the abstraction and another is called the decomposition. कभी भी प्रॉब्लम पे काम करना स्टार्ट करोगे, एब्स्ट्रैक्शन के बारे में सोचोगे, डिकम्पोजिशन के बारे में सोचना पड़ेगा। how these two techniques will handle the complexity of the program. Complexity of the program meaning how these two techniques, fundamental techniques, will help to deal with the problems of bigger sizes. When I will say that complexity of the problem, it means that the problem is of big size. Okay. So now at this point we'll well understood that software engineering is all about developing the programs efficiently. Okay. As the size increases, you want to develop only with a linear time, cost and efforts. दिस इज आवर मोटिव, दिस इज आवर ओवरऑल मोटिव ऑफ दिस सब्जेक्ट। जैसे जैसे साइज बढ़ेगा सर, मुझे तो जो है केवल क्या चाहिए, लीनियर में जो है मेरी टाइम और कॉस्ट आनी चाहिए। जैसे जैसे प्रोग्राम का साइज बढ़ेगा, यही मेरी सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग है, सारी की सारी मुझे लीनियर फेज में चाहिए टाइम एंड कॉस्ट। फॉर दैट यू नीड टू इफेक्टिवली हैंडल द इंक्रीज इन द कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी। हैंडल करनी पड़ेगी सर। अगर मेरा प्रॉब्लम का साइज बढ़ेगा, कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ेगी, उसको मुझे इफेक्टिवली हैंडल करना पड़ेगा। इफेक्टिवली अगर हैंडल नहीं करेंगे तो मेरी कॉस्ट क्या बढ़ जाएगी, एक्सपोनेंशियल हो जाएगी। एक्सपोनेंशियल हो जाएगी तो मुझे कॉस्ट उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट को डिलीवर करने का कोई फायदा ही नहीं है। सो कौन सी टेक्निक्स अपनाऊं सर, कौन सी टेक्निक्स लगाऊं, कैसे करें? सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग की दो टेक्निक्स जो है इस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज को हैंडल करने के लिए काम आती है, एंड दोज टेक्निक्स आर व्हाट वी कॉल एट द एब्स्ट्रैक्शन एंड द डिकम्पोजिशन। And let's give me a very quick idea about the abstraction, and further tomorrow in the tomorrow's class we will discuss in more detail what is abstraction and the decomposition. In a very detail we will discuss all these techniques. So the first that is the abstraction. We focus on our attention only on some aspects of the problem and ignore the rest aspects of the irrelevant details. कुछ मेन एस्पेक्ट्स पे ध्यान दे लो, सब पे मत दो। एक ही टाइम पे हर चीज पे फोकस करोगे तो किसी एक चीज के भी नहीं रहोगे। ये बोला जाता है ना, एक चीज पे, एक करियर पाथ पे एक चीज को पकड़ो, उसको एफिशिएंटली फिनिश करो उसको। सो इसी को हम बोलते हैं एब्स्ट्रैक्शन इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज द मॉडल बिल्डिंग। पहले मॉडल बनाओ, बिल्डिंग बनानी है सर। अभी आपने काम करने किस पे स्टार्ट कर दिया, रूम के अंदर जो है खिड़की किस साइड में होंगी, कितनी हीट आएगी, कितनी हीट निकलेगी, इस पे काम करना स्टार्ट कर दिया। अरे भाई, बिल्डिंग बनानी है, पहले फ्लोर का प्लान बना लो, कितने फ्लोर्स बनेंगे, कितनी हाइट की बनेगी, ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर बना लो। अभी अंदर डिटेल्स में मत जाओ। इसी को हम क्या बोलते हैं, हमने क्या करना है, पहले एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लेवल से सोचना है चीजों को। जब हम एब्स्ट्रैक्ट लेवल पे चीजों को सोचेंगे उसके बाद ही हम चीजों को ब्रेक कर पाएंगे। अब हम करते क्या है, उसमें सीधा प्रॉब्लम उठाई और सीधा उसके फॉर लूप के अंदर फॉर लूप और फॉर लूप के अंदर फॉर लूप, और जब तक वो बिल्कुल यूनिट पे नहीं ब्रेक हो जाए तब तक उसके अंदर जाते रहते हैं और साइड वाले एंगल्स को छोड़ते जाते हैं। मीनिंग हमारी अप्रोच क्या है, डेप्थ फर्स्ट सर्च वाली अप्रोच है हमारी। सबसे डीप में चले जाएंगे, बिल्कुल डेप्थ फर्स्ट सर्च वाली अप्रोच नहीं लगानी है। अप्रोच कौन सी लगानी है, ओवरऑल जो है होलिस्टिक वे में देखना है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कि हमारी प्रॉब्लम ये है और वो ओवरऑल कैसे दिखेगी, ओवरऑल सॉल्यूशन क्या देंगे हम इसके। मीनिंग जब आप कभी बिल्डिंग, जैसे आपने देखा होगा कभी किसी जैसे आप कहीं पे आपने देखा होगा कि आपने कोई बिल्डिंग बनानी है तो उसका एक मॉडल रखा रहता है ना छोटा सा बिल्डिंग का, कि यहाँ पे जो है आपका सेमिनार हॉल होगा, इधर आपका जो है प्लेग्राउंड होगा, ये आपका बिल्डिंग होगी, इधर इधर दो मेन बिल्डिंग होगी। यस और नो?
यस सर।
So this is what we, abstraction is nothing more than what we call as the model building. So if you want to build a large building, how does it will look like? You will ignore all the other aspects. कौन से aspects ignore कर लेने? Like if I'll talk strength, मुझे नहीं पता अभी क्या strength बनेगी buildings wall की, wall thickness क्या होगी, I don't know. इंटरनल प्लान क्या होगा, ये सब इंटरनल डिटेल्स के बारे में बात नहीं करना है। मॉडल को बिल्ड करना है, ऊपर वाली चीजों से सोचना है, कि और ऊपर सोचना है। So you will concentrate only on its frontal appearance, frontal जो किस तरह से look and feel देगी वो, और बाकी सब चीजों को भूल जाओ। जैसे वेबसाइट डिजाइन करते हो तो ओवरऑल कैसे दिखेगी सर, इसका डिजाइन एकदम से पेज आएगा सर, यहाँ पे होम बटन आएगा, इधर अबाउट अस आएगा। हाँ बेटा बोलो।
सर कुछ लोग हिंदी नहीं आती है सर, मतलब
ओके ओके ओके, आई विल कंटिन्यू इन इंग्लिश। ये तो हिंदी में इसलिए बोल देते हैं कि सो एकदम एब्स्ट्रैक्ट थोड़ा सा बोल दे, ओके, अदरवाइज नो प्रॉब्लम। सो
वो
एब्स्ट्रैक्शन इज
बच्चे
समथिंग।
बताते
हाँ,
वो बच्चे बताते नहीं, उनको समझ नहीं आता हिंदी में।
but अभी the most of the lecture 90% we have repeated in the English only, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, no problem. We will not repeat in the Hindi then. So abstraction is meaning that overall we have to develop this particular outer boundaries of the software. If you will consider it with this particular model building, beta mute karo, just mute yourself. So if I will take the example of the building construction, so you do not need to focus on the internal design. What you have to focus, you have to just focus on the frontal appearance, how the building will look, what will be the height of the building, and you just need to ignore everything, whatever the you are not being looked into the strength of the wall, the heat, coming to the particular room or not, how much heat is coming, how much heat is going. You do not need to concentrate on the internal structure. Where you have to concentrate, you have to concentrate only on the outer phases, only on the frontal appearance, how